Welcome to Driving Immersion for the immersive driving experience. In this race, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada.
Again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than a tenth of a second. It's a tricky circuit to tackle in wet conditions, with top speed still of critical importance down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on a circuit that in the dry can see average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour. We'll be lucky to get anywhere near that today. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, the Professor, Sebastian Vettel, and Stroll, Albon, Ricciardo. They've taken a grid penalty. Leclerc and Esteban Ocon, Sainz, Russell, Kevin Magnussen, and Norris, Gasly, Perez, Romain Grosjean, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Latifi, Schumacher, and Kimi Räikkönen finishes off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So as you can see, we're starting off the race in 4th place, which is a very, very good result. In qualifying, we only went out once per session, just to avoid wear and tear and burning off some soft tires that we may need later on. Here's our pit strategy, and it looks like we're only offered the intermediate tires, even though there's only rain for about 20% of the race, which is at the start, which means that we will be changing our tire and pit strategy as the race goes on. And you can see here that we can't change our strategy to add any of the dry tires. We're only allowed to work with the intermediate or full wet tires. But again, it's pointless because we know that the rain is only for the first 20%. So there's no need to plan that far ahead. And you can see here too that our tank is not full, and we're going to leave it at that because of the rain.
With your grid position, we should be able to bring home a better result than last race. Come on, you
Because
can
of
do
the
it.
rain, we should expect to not have to use all that fuel. So here we go for the formation lap, and this is the map of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We will be going clockwise.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
So as we exit turn 2, you can see it's raining pretty good. There's quite a lot of spray from the tires of the cars ahead, so our visibility is going to be limited. But again, it's only for the first 20% of the race or so. So turn 3 and 4 here. Turn 5. Turn 6 here, and we're going to be able to run over the curve. As we exit turn 7, you wait for the weight to land on all 4 tires before you accelerate out. And we'll usually be using the ERS boost through here, under the bridge, down through 8 and 9. And as you exit 9, you're going to come close to that wall on the right-hand side. Down to turn 10, the hairpin. And again, very slow through here. Second gear. And it's actually quite wide, so there's going to be some passing going on. Turn 11 there, a little kink on the left. Turn 12 through here, actually pretty straight. And then turn 13 and 14 down the main straight, but before you get there, there is the Wall of Champions on your right-hand side. So here we go, the car is automatically driven to its place on the grid. And we will wait for the other cars to place themselves on the grid.
The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Five lights out, and here we go. We're there on the left, second to the Red Bull, still in fourth place. And you can see here that we get tagged by one of the Ferraris, which shoves us into Valtteri Bottas and the other Mercedes. So up ahead we have a Mercedes and a Red Bull, and we are now in third place. As this is the beginning of the race, the car is very heavy, and it will be the first time that we've driven it with all this weight. But now, to add to the complexity, we are driving in the rain. Through 8 and 9 there, you can see that the Mercedes and the Ferrari are still hot on our tail. And we have an attempt here by one of the Mercedes, I believe that's Valtteri Bottas, to come in and pass us as we go wide through turn 10. And we are able to squeeze him out a little bit through turn 11. Riding now with Sebastian Vettel in a Ferrari, looking at Valtteri Bottas and the 66 just up ahead to cross the start-finish line for the first time. Very slow through here. The car still weighs a lot, and you can see there that we've got more power than grip. So we drove right through turn 4. Again, it's still very slippery. Back with Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari, looking at the Mercedes. You can see the visibility is not that great. Quite a lot of spray from the tires. Down through 8 and 9, and we're still able to maintain our place in the race. Now let's see how we're going to handle the hairpin again. It's a little bit better. The Mercedes was not challenging us too much, although we did go wide on the exit. Coming down to 13 and 14 again to touch the Wall of Champions. Now we do have damage turned on. Obviously that was not enough to damage the car. Looking back from the 66, we've got a little breathing room for the Mercedes. The car is actually set up for a dry race, and as we drive here, the setup is handling the wet weather.
Is getting worn, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
There's a challenge from the Mercedes on the left, and again, it's just not enough room. So Valtteri still under our wing. Here we go again, through the hairpin at turn 10. We're wide, and he's inside. But we're able to maintain our speed through the exit and then through turn 11. So we're still ahead of Valtteri at this point. Back to some breathing room, so Valtteri looks like has more downforce than us as he goes slower through the straights. Right now with Valtteri Bottas as he's going to make an attempt through turn 10 here again, and he's usually very close through here. There we are. He's on the inside. Again, we are wide. But he just can't accelerate out faster than we can out of turn 10 and through turn 11. Over the curb again through turn 5. Turn 6, turn 7. And you can see there that we got a poor start out of turn 7, so Valtteri is right under our wing through turn 8 and 9. Which means that he's going to be a lot closer through turn 10. But this time we stay on the inside instead of going wide, and we're able to keep him back. Now you can visibly see that the spray from the tires has dramatically decreased as the track will dry, and you can see here that the Mercedes and the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel are coming in. There's actually quite a few cars behind them that came in as well, and they're going to be changing onto their medium tires. So now these are the dry tires. So you can see probably half of the field has come in to change out, and we are still here with our intermediate tires, and we are having to drive very gingerly here through.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Turn 7, as they don't have as much grip now. So the pits had radioed in, it's time to change out of these tires, and there is Lewis Hamilton had already changed out to dry tires, and you can see he's right on us. So he's quite a ways ahead, having pitted and ending up right behind us. And I've got no choice but to just let him go, as he is going to be faster. And we have to come in anyway. So we should be pitting here. And you can see that I slid right into him as he slowed down for 13 and 14 and damaged our wing.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
There's a new front wing there that you can see they're putting on. And this is going to cost us a little time.
Go, go, go.
8.5 seconds in the pit as opposed to about 2.5. So that's a good 6 seconds to change out the front wing.
Clear of the white line on the exit. You'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Now, coming out of the pits, we've got a full queue of cars ahead of us. But keep in mind that we have a dry tire setup here, so we should do relatively well against these cars. And you can see we've already passed one of the Haas as we came out. Now ahead of us is a racing point. And that is Perez and Gasly just ahead of us. Again, Gasly is one of our current rivals. So you can see here along the straight that we've got pretty good speed as we get closer to the two cars ahead. Through the start-finish line. And we are now right under the wing of Sergio Perez in the racing point. Now, if they had set up for a wet race, they'll have more downforce than us through here. So they'll usually go a little bit faster than us. A little bit of a power slide there as we exit out of turn 10. Riding back with the 66, we are looking at Sergio Perez in the racing point through turn 13 and 14. And we locked up a little bit. There was not enough room to shoot through there. And again, we're very close through here as we are faster in the straight. A little tap there on Sergio Perez. Again, didn't cause any damage on the wing. Oh, and there's a good dive through turn 10, and we are able to take Perez. And through the chicane of 13 and 14, we also passed Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri. Up ahead, we have Lando Norris in the McLaren with Alex Albon in one of the Red Bulls, just ahead of him. Through turn 6, right over the curb.
strategy option.
So there's a proposed strategy to change over to soft tires and then go back onto a set of mediums again. I'm not going to do that. We just put these tires on. We're going to be wasting a lot of time going through the pits. And right now with these mediums, we're actually just as fast as the cars around us. Back with the 66 as we close on to Esteban Ocon in the Renault. And I believe that is Russell just ahead of him. Through 8 and 9. Riding with Russell as he's looking back at the 66 jump Esteban Ocon in the Renault.
Russell.
Come through the start-finish line as we get closer to George Russell in the Williams. Three and 4, turn 5, turn 6, with a little tap on the Williams ahead. No damage indicated there on the graph. Very close now, coming in through turn 10. And we're going to undercut him, but he stays on the inside, and we are left outside with our wide exit. So you can see here that he's got a good jump on us, but the driving immersion team car is developed a little bit further than the Williams, so you can see that we're just a little bit faster than him as we start walking away. Very dry track now with the sun popping out. We're going to work to conserve the car and the tires. Lap 13, we are in 10th place. Now coming into turn 1, we saw a group of cars just ahead. Again, now that the track is clear and dry, we're going to run consistent laps. And not take any risks.
Gap to car in front is 5.6 seconds.
There they are. Looks like a Ferrari just up ahead. Again, very wide through turn 10. We're just going to have to slow the car down a little bit more so that we can have a better exit. '13 and 14 in the Wall of Champions. Start finish line down to turn 1. Have a look at the Ferrari ahead. And just ahead of him is a Renault. So that would be Charles Leclerc and Daniel Ricciardo.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up.
Riding with the McLaren, looking back at the Renault and the Ferrari just behind. And if you look fast enough, you can see the driving immersion and the way back just appear as they exit through the corners. There he is. So we are maintaining our position, which is about 4 or 5 seconds back. Now we had a track warning last time we came through 13 and 14, so that time we took it very conservatively, just made sure that we rode over to the curbs and not over the line. This is Daniel Ricciardo looking back at the Ferrari, and that would be Charles Leclerc. Again, right now it looks like everything is settling down, and all cars are keeping their place and maintaining their speed.
Our gap to the car in front is 3.1 seconds.
So the gap is down to 3.1 seconds, and we are catching up, certainly. You can see them a little bit closer now. And they are available, or visual, on the horizon. So the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is actually a course that we have visited a handful of times, as it is one of the races that are closer to home.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead.
And this part of the track I have actually walked on, and the track is as smooth as silk. So the asphalt is laser cut very well. Probably the most popular place to sit is going to be turn 10, which is the hairpin just up ahead, as the cars are traveling slower and the audience can see them a little bit more closely. You can see there's grandstands on the left, straight ahead and to the right, and that little bridge area there to the left is actually where we normally sit. So on your left here, you would be looking at downtown Montreal, which is just across the water. You can see the bridge structure just up ahead. That is the bridge that will actually take you to the island as it crosses the St. Lawrence River. Still riding with the 66, as you can see the Ferrari just ahead. And he is battling right now with one of the Renaults, Daniel Ricciardo, to stay ahead. And I believe by now that 4-second gap has turned to 2.5 to 3. Looking back from the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc at the 66.
They're in late turn
The teammate behind is 35.0 seconds.
So right now you can see by the graph that we do hold the fast lap. Saw a little bit of tire smoke up ahead, so we are getting closer. Little ride on the grass there through turn 12. Probably should be paying attention to the race ahead. Riding with Daniel Ricciardo, looking back at the Ferrari as we approach 8 and 9. And the driving immersion is closer than ever to the Ferrari. Starting lap 23. Still have the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc and the Renault of Daniel Ricciardo. And I believe that is the McLaren of Lando Norris up ahead. A little touch there on the exit of 4. No, that would be turn 9, and now we're under the wing at turn 10. With the DRS open through turn 13 and 14, nothing doing. DRS again. There we are through turn 1. We're able to drive underneath Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Now we're looking ahead to Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault. Still has Lando Norris and the McLaren just ahead of him. You can see that we still have Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari just behind us. But through the straight here, we are a little bit faster than most of the other cars. Again, we do have a dry tire setup, so we should have less swing on the car. Still continuing on with our steady race to the front. We do have the yellow tires on, so the performance is going to be a little bit wider and available for more laps. There we go, locking up the fronts again. There you can see Charles Leclerc does have his DRS open, but again, we are a little bit faster than him through the straight. Down the pit straight to turn 1. Now the visuals that you see ahead is of a little damage on our front wing. That may have been due to some of the bumping that we've been doing later on, but if you remember, we had a front wing replacement earlier on when we changed out of our intermediate tires. So that is damage on our second wing. Fortunately, it's not affecting our performance. We get very close to Daniel Ricciardo, but no passing done there, and we are able to drive underneath him again in turn 1 like we did with the other car.
Brilliant. Nice move.
So turn 1 is actually not a bad passing point. And you can see that we are very close now to Lando Norris in the McLaren. Very conservative, tight line through turn 10. We want to make sure that we have a good exit out of 11. Now we have the DRS open just behind the McLaren. Now we passed 2 cars through turn 1. Let's see if we can do it again. Yes, and we're on the inside. And we block him out. So that's 3 cars passed through turn 1. Driving with clear skies at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We have another racing point ahead of us.
The gap to the car
So-
is 2.2 seconds.
8th place now on lap 29.
Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the car behind by a few seconds per lap.
Still very racy on this set of mediums. We have Lance Stroll, and I believe that is Valtteri Bottas just ahead of him. Not quite in our sight yet. There you can see again the chunk that's taken out of the front wing. So we've been making good time on the cars behind us, and this long straight certainly helps. So you can see over the fence there, that is the St. Lawrence River. And we are getting closer to the racing point just up ahead. So looking at the graphics there, that is Carlos Sainz behind us. That is the McLaren that we passed. We thought that was Lando Norris. So correction there. So we're in P6 now. It should be Valtteri Bottas that had pitted, and that is why we moved ahead. There's another car that may have pitted. Can't tell who now. Again, as you can see, we're getting closer to the racing point through turns 1 and 2.
Some information on Verstappen. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car. Okay, the safety car is out. The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive. Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
So Verstappen had retired. If you didn't see him, he was on the left there as we came around turn 2 or turn 3. So here's a replay of what happened to Verstappen.
Your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty.
And you can see that he just lost speed and parked as close as he could to the wall.
Nick is coming in for his stop.
Again, looking back at Verstappen. Just lost speed, definitely mechanical failure. Back now with the 66, you saw that one of the Ferraris had come into pit. And that was Sebastian Vettel, so we are now up to
The car behind has come in. They're now on the
third
soft
place.
tire. Softs on the car behind.
So we're actually driving here to catch up to the safety car queue. You saw coming out of the picture there our teammate's car, but we're not racing with him. We are racing with the two Mercedes up ahead, and you can see them here. Just behind the safety car, and you see the Ferrari behind us. He is in 4th place, we are in 3rd. Just coming into the picture in the background is going to be Alex Albon in the other Red Bull. So behind the safety car, we do have our teammate ahead of us. There is no passing, so we will stay behind him until the green flag drops. But lap 33, we're certainly very much into the race. Still under the safety car. We don't usually do very well on these restarts. Our tires get cold and we get swapped right away. So we are curious on how this is going to fold out once the green flag drops. And to make it even more complicated, we do have our teammate ahead of us, so we are going to have to work our way around him. Once again, third place on lap 34. We are doing very well. We would have never guessed, especially with the rainy start. Lights are still on in the safety car, and we're going to wait for him to turn them off. And that will indicate that he'll be coming in.
This lap, let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
So it appears he is coming in at the end of this lap. On the graphics there on the lower right of the screen, you can see the wear that we have on the set of mediums, 30% or so. So they are definitely still manageable at this point. And from our experience, they're usually good till about 45%. Very wide coming out of turn 2, and you can see there that we get tapped by Vettel. But we do get around our teammate. He lets a lot of people through. Now, Vettel had slipped back a couple of places, but now we have Alexander Albon and one of the racing points behind us. The Mercedes are fast, and you can see they've put a distance on us already. Big lockup coming into turn 10. So now we have Alexander Albon very close by. Definitely going to challenge us if we make a mistake. Hard braking down to turn 10. Now he should have his DRS available to him at this point. No, not yet. But looking at the sky, the clouds have come back. And you can see now that it's gotten a little bit darker and a little bit hazier. But if the rain comes back, it certainly was not in the forecast. Very close coming out of turn 10. We're not going to be able to get a jump on the start. And he will have his DRS available. There you go, rear ring is open. I do have the inside on 13 and 14. So he had to back off. And that will give us a little bit of breathing room. There are raindrops forming on the lens. So it does appear that it may rain again. There we are, even more drops. Now coming into turn 8 and 9. I believe it's still too early to switch. There's not any spray coming off of the tires. So we're going to keep on racing on these mediums. Anybody close by actually went in to change out of their tires either, so that's good. Well, you can see the rain falling now. But there's still not a lot of spray coming from the tires. And we'll usually use that as a gauge to determine how much water is sitting on the track. So we're going to continue on with this set of mediums, at least for another lap. Coming out of turn 10 and turn 11. If we were going to pit, we would have decided usually by now, as the pit entry is going to come very fast before we get to 13 and 14. And it doesn't seem like anybody got into the pits either. So it looks like we have a little bit of a distance behind the, or ahead of the Red Bull. And it looks like the Racing Point is certainly challenging him, and that would be Alex Albon, and I believe that is Perez. Yep, and he's certainly gotten ahead of the Red Bull. We're going to continue on. Definitely raining now, and you can see that we're losing traction. Just accelerating out. 3 and 4 through here. Turn 5. And we are driving at about 80 or 90%. We see the racing point right behind. And we are side by side coming into turn 8. There's a touch and the racing point goes around.
Full course caution. The safety car is out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down. Maintain positive delta. Some information on Stroll. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
So it seems like that was Lance Stroll.
Our delta is too low and we'll risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
In the racing point that was racing with us.
Box is slap.
And it appears that there must have been an accident with the other cars. And it's going to give us a perfect opportunity to come in. We have a Ferrari and a Red Bull right behind us. Other cars coming into the pits. Here we are changing into the intermediate wets. And we are out. So looking back, you don't see the other Ferrari or the Red Bull coming out yet. And that's going to be to our advantage. So we come out to a safety car period. We're now going to drive to catch up to the safety car. Here's a replay, and that is the 66 with Lance Stroll and the Racing Point Racing. Down to turn 8, we did have a very slow exit out of 7, and you can see here that there was a touch between the two cars, and that spun Stroll around. Here comes Alex Albon and a Ferrari. Both hit him, and it looks like he lost the wheel in the replay. So his race should be done. There is the touch. And two cars trying to go through the chicane. So the Ferrari and the Red Bull should have some damage, and that's why they came in right behind us. And that may be why they didn't come out as quickly as we did. So, still driving slow. Trying to catch up to the safety car, which is here, and you can see there that Lewis Hamilton is right behind as he is in first place at this point of the race. That would be Sebastian Vettel with a new wing. And he maintains his place right behind us. He's now in third. So the rain's coming down pretty good. Again, the visibility is certainly declining. We are riding behind. Here's a replay, and you can see there that Alex Albon has damage on his wing on the right end cap. And they both come in for some reason. They must be serving a time penalty. Nobody's touching the cars. And Vettel starts first. They both have front wing replacements. Oh, you can see there that Charles Leclerc is stacked up behind in the Ferrari. So Albon and Vettel are back out. So Charles Leclerc, changing into intermediates, is stuck behind his teammate, losing a lot of time in the pit stops. Now when the green flag drops, we're still going to be racing with these two, the Ferrari and...
Vettel behind us.
Well, there's something wrong with Alex Albon's car, and he is pulling off. So his race is done.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap.
Again, not very good with restarts. We're going to try to stay very close to Lewis Hamilton here. See if it'll give us an advantage. So he should be back to race speed. No passing until we cross the start-finish line. And there is Vettel just behind us. Green flag. Vettel's very racy, but I think he might have been hung out to dry by the McLaren. You can hear that we are still losing traction on the acceleration. No, Vettel's back. And he's very racy. He's on the outside. Not going to be able to make it. So this is the tricky part here as we accelerate out to 8 and 9. That's where we had trouble getting away from Lance Stroll. But this time we're able to maintain Sebastian Vettel behind us. Very slow through turn 10. Still raining pretty good. Riding now with Sebastian Vettel, looking at the 66 just ahead. Looks like we're getting away a little bit. Over the grass through turn 4. Turn 6, turn 7. And again, we're very slow to accelerate out. So we do have Vettel right under our wing again. He's very close now. You can hear that we continue to still lose traction. I'm going to keep him on the outside. And we're going to be able to maintain our place through turn 10. Again, we're able to build a little bit of distance on the long straight, so it certainly does indicate that they are on a heavier downforce setup. Now through the twisty parts here, you should be able to close in a little bit as he will have more grip. We'll just see how this happens. And turn 6. Turn 7. He is in the background, but he's not getting any closer right now. So this point in the race does bring back memories. We were there when Jensen Button won the race. And it was due to a drying track. And here we are, holding second place right behind Lewis Hamilton in first. And you saw there that as we came into turn 2, he was just disappearing. And you can see just little glimpse of him through here. Still very slippery and through the grass. There's Lewis just disappearing. Lap 48, we are about 4 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. So there's still a lot of racing left. Very big lock up there, but we're going to stay in tight through turn 10. So that's the Mercedes, I believe. Changing onto the soft tires, the Red Bandit tires. You can see here a few cars coming in. So the track must be drying, but I still do see spray from the tires. And that must have been Lewis, and certainly the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel behind that had come into the pits to change out of these intermediate tires. Big slide there. And we're going to be exiting out of 7 very slowly. So we are losing time at this point. You can definitely tell that we are not at full throttle, just trying to maintain traction. Here we are, we're coming in to change out of these intermediates. There is Lewis Hamilton just going by. Very good pit stop. We are coming onto a field of a lot of cars. So we are behind one of the racing points. This should be Sergio Perez. And it appears he has changed on to his yellows. We have our reds on, so when they warm up, we should be very racy. And it usually takes about half a lap, maybe a whole lap before the red tires warm up. can see here that we're gaining just a little bit through this long straight. We have no DRS yet. And we're still able to make up space. Coming into Perez into turn 1, we are going to undercut him, and there is a collision. He's not going to be able to maintain his place. So we did collide with him, however, there's no damage to the car, and certainly there is no damage to his car. There he is, he's right behind us at this point. Coming out of turn 7, we do have DRS, he's right beside us. And he's not going to hit us like Lance Stroll did and spin out, so he's going to continue racing on, and so are we. Coming into turn 10, right behind Daniel Kvyat in the AlphaTauri. And right ahead of him is Roman Grosjean. And again, we're going to have an advantage here in the long straight. Coming in through turn 13 and 14 with the DRS open. And you can see there just a little bit as we approach turn 1, we do have a little bit of a slingshot effect with our DRS open. So we do have a lot of speed being carried into turn 1. And that may be why we were able to get around Sergio Perez under the wing of the AlphaTauri. Turn 8, turn 9. So we did lose quite a number of places because of the tire change. I certainly would not have thought to come in and change it out just yet, as we were still getting spray from the tires. Perhaps if we were closer to Lewis Hamilton as he came in, we would have thought to come in. Now, while we were still wearing the intermediates, we were looking at the race distance, and we had decided to pick the soft tires, the red banded tires here, to put on instead of a set of yellows, as they are going to be able to give us more speed. And that's if the case. And here we are, we get around the AlphaTauri and the hairpin. Just able to outbrake him and lock him out. So while we still had our intermediates on, we decided to go with our next set of tires, which were the red tires here, the soft tires, just in case the rain stopped. So very close now to the Haas of Roman Grosjean. We are in 4th place. And again, it's lap 54, so this set of reds should just about get us there to the end of the race. Now we're looking at Roman Grosjean just ahead of us. He is holding a podium position. so we are going to need to pass him. And there we are, coming into 13. We were able to just get in just before he did. Of course, there was another collision there, but again, it caused no damage to either car.
Is 5.0 seconds.
So at lap 55 we are in third place with a 5-second gap to the second place car, and that would be Sebastian Vettel, who's actually very fortunate, who had wing replacement and a crash.
Okay, at the current pace and fuel settings we won't have enough fuel for the end of the race. Consider lowering the fuel mix.
Now we are in a fuel deficit. You can see there that we are nearly a half of a lap short of fuel. And we do have a 5-second gap to Sebastian Vettel up ahead. If we don't start reducing that very soon, we are going to start to trim down our fuel in the slower parts of the course, like here, and maintain our third place. At least we are on the podium if the race ends this way. So this is Sebastian Vettel up ahead. He had a crash with Lance Stroll on lap 41, replaced his wing, and through the pit stops had managed to get in front of us. Very fortunate for him. And you can see there that he is disappearing in the distance just ahead of us in the 66 here. So now through turn 1 and 2, you can see that we had turned down our fuel mixture to lean. That 5-second gap to Vettel was just not coming down fast enough. However, we're still going to continue to race, and we're going to turn up our fuel mixture to rich along the main straight, where we have been very fast throughout the race. going into end left 58. You can see that our fuel reserve is back up. Riding with the AlphaTauri, looking at the 66 just ahead. Riding with Perez with the AlphaTauri just ahead, and he's going to be racing with him now. You can see the 66 just ahead. And again, the track has dried and the sun has come out. Oh, and the AlphaTauri is very racy. He's on our inside. He gets ahead of us through turn 11 and turn 12. He's got his DRS open and he's able to stay ahead. We are racing with Sergio Perez and we're able to keep him back through 13 and 14. Again, both cars have their DRS open and we have none. So riding with the 66 now. Watching Daniel Kvyat just ahead. He has taken our podium spot on lap 60. Again, there's still a lot of racing to go. Coming down to the hairpin. We are wide. Down a long straight, we have our DRS. Not close enough through 13 and 14. We do have our DRS again. And we're going to be able to undercut him through turn 1. So we're back on the podium. Ahead of Daniel Kvyat. So coming down to 8 and 9 here, we've gained a little space, and he is racing with Sergio Perez now with the Racing Point. Very close racing again through turn 10. Riding with Sergio Perez, he's looking for a podium spot. Now we do have the AlphaTauri right behind us in the 66, and he does have reds on as well, but his tires should be a lap older. And we have to consider that now, as the reds will start to drop off pretty soon. Here we are coming into turn 1 again. Our advantage in the long straight is evident. Coming into the hairpin, doesn't look like the AlphaTauri is very close by. Yes, we do have a little bit of distance now. And it may be just that his tires did start falling off. Lap 65 now, we do have a surplus of fuel. Good exit out of turn 2. Less than 5 laps to go. And we just have to maintain our spot here to have a podium finish. And if that can be done, that will be the first time this season. And for this team, it appears the racing point of Sergio Perez has gotten around the AlphaTauri. Now, is Perez going to come up and race? Won't show up too much here, as again we do have the advantage over the long straight. But he is creating space between him and the AlphaTauri. So we are watching Sergio Perez in the racing point. He is in 4th and we are in 3rd. On lap 66. So at this point of the race, we are still maintaining our fuel. And on the slower parts, for like through here, we are actually putting it in lean. And then once we get onto the straight, we'll put it back up to rich. Again, the fuel is within a 1/10 of a lap. But you can see here now that Perez is certainly up to challenges. The AlphaTauri has disappeared. Very close to our wing through 8 and 9. Through the hairpin on turn 10, he's right with us. So the AlphaTauri has fallen off by at least 5 or 6 seconds. Maybe his red tires had fallen off by now, but we continue to maintain ours, and we stay ahead of the racing point of Sergio Perez. He is on his yellows, and both sets, the yellows and the reds, should be close to their end point by now. There should only be a couple of laps left in the race. And from the nose of Sergio Perez, the 66 continues on. Still no signs that the tires are declining. He's right with the 66 now. Through the hairpin. We're going to stay on the inside and lock him out. He does have his DRS open, and he is very close. Let's see if he'll try to slingshot through turn 1. Nope. We exit wide out of turn 2, but we maintain our position ahead of Sergio Perez in the racing point.
Front is 17.3 seconds.
There's Perez. You heard a little touch there as he was on the outside coming in through turn 8. And that put him back a little bit and gave us a little bit of breathing space. Coming down to the main straight, we're going to be able to pull away a little bit. He does have his DRS open. And he makes up that distance handily. Is he close enough to come in through turn 1? No, he's not.
Dropping back by about 0.3 a lap.
No, he's not.
So final lap here, Hamilton is ahead.
Excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
And by this point, he's gained 35 seconds on us after the pit stops. So he is much faster now that the track is dried, and he's probably on a set of reds. There he is. Lewis has crossed the start-finish line, and we are going to finish right here with the Racing Point of Sergio Perez right behind us. So that is a podium finish. The first of the season, first for the team.
Yes, that's a podium. Excellent drive. The team have worked especially hard this weekend, and this is a fantastic reward.
Daniel Kvyat, driver of the day.
They take the checkered flag then here in Canada in what has been another fabulous Grand Prix. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. And they certainly deserve it.
Podium finish. First of the season in Canada.
And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I mean, can it be anyone else other than Danny Kvyat? His performance today really set him apart from the other drivers out there. He's got to be happy with how he's done here this weekend.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race.
We did. The team really pulled out all the stops.
Things looked close between you and your rival for a bit, but you came out on top, didn't you?
They're a great driver. I think we both enjoyed it.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
Maybe, but you can't get complacent.
How do you think this team will be feeling after that result?
I think they'll be kicking themselves that they didn't do better.
Appreciate your time.
So that's it for the race. Our first podium finish, and certainly was a rewarding one considering the rain. Also with quite a bit of fortune that the damage didn't really affect our car. Thanks again for watching the Canadian Grand Prix at Driving Immersion. Don't forget to give us a like and comment below. Let us know what you think of the race. Take part in our full-length 2020 season. We don't use any driver's aids, and we drive from the cockpit with a Fantech steering wheel and pedal set. The next race is in France. Subscribe or follow to get reminders. See you then.